Welcome back to Joy in Our Town, the ultimate source for community information. I'm your host, Rachel Miller, and I am so delighted that you've stayed with me for the second half of today's broadcast. On this segment, I have invited Owen Malcolm to join us. He is the Senior Vice President and Chief Operating Officer of Sanders Financial Management, and he is here today to give you some wonderful tips as it relates to your finances in today's economy. Welcome to the broadcast.
Thanks for having me.
It is a delight to have you here, and I know that you have a wealth of information and knowledge, and I know that your office houses several financial planners, and I know that a lot of individuals are probably thinking, you know, when you're thinking about planning finances and with an unstable economy, what is the very first question that your clients are asking? Is there money saved? What do you do in today's economy?
What should I do? That's the question we get most often. Is my money safe at the bank, in the stock market? How much confidence do I have in my job, in my employer? Am I going to have a job next week, next month, next year? And in these economic times, it's so critical to get every dollar you can out of the family budget, out of your paycheck, and every benefit you can get from your employer, and even from the federal government, to get every benefit that they have afforded to us through a number of different programs. So it's critical to get everything you can at this time.
How do you handle the changes? I know you hear a lot of individuals who've had nest eggs that they were very, very proud of, and they've seen the deterioration of those nest eggs, and many individuals who were probably even struggling to save don't even know what to do now as they watch all of the different changes that have taken place. What's your advice to a person who they're not too sure what they should do? What should a person do at this time?
Worry about what you can control. Keep saving money, keep investing, stay out of debt, don't live above your means. And if you are maybe 5 years or more away from retiring or away from needing your money, don't panic. Don't sell all of your stocks. Don't sell your mutual funds. Don't make any dramatic shifts in your 401k or in your retirement plan. But think long term and consult with someone. Consult with your accountant, with your financial advisor, or a trusted friend that you know is financially savvy and wise, and ask them for advice about your own specific situation.
Is it good to get advice from multiple individuals that are in that financial planning arena?
If you can, absolutely. The more advice, the better. And there's a lot of free advice you can get. You can listen to radio shows, go to websites. In a way, there's almost too much information. It can be hard sometimes going through it all. Right? Who do I trust? And I think for most people, watching the news at night and then financial TV during the day and reading the headlines, it can be a bit overwhelming. So if you can find one or two people that you do trust and take advice for them, you'll be well served.
That's good. Now I know that we've seen so many individuals who've lost their homes with the foreclosure rates being extremely high, especially right here in Georgia. On the other hand, there are individuals who are in the market actually looking for a home. There are a lot of first-time home buyers that are still looking for homes. What are some of the benefits to even tapping into today's housing market for the person that is actually looking to buy at this time?
Right. Well, housing prices in Atlanta and most parts of the country are at least a 3-year low, if not more. So it's obviously a great time to buy a home, especially if you're a first-time home buyer and you don't have to go out and sell a home first. The opportunities are wonderful. But there's a little-known program that folks need to be aware of. The Housing and Economic Recovery Act that was passed this year affords a first-time home buyer, and that can be the first-time buyer of a home, a condo, a townhome, a $7,500 credit on their return for 2009 if they purchased their first home by June 30th. Now that's a tax credit. It's not a deduction. That's $7,500 in your pocket that amounts to, for most people, enough to wipe out their entire federal tax burden in 2009 and help provide a lot of money for a down payment. Now, it is a loan from the government, but here's the good news. It's a 15-year loan. It only has to be paid back $500 per year. So if you buy your first home in the first half of '09, you would add $500 to your return every year for the next 500 years. And Rachel, I promise you, a 0% 15-year loan is the best loan that you'll ever get. So if you're in the market, it is a fantastic time to buy, and I would encourage people to take advantage of that.
And the only requirement is that you're a first-time home buyer?
Correct.
That's
Correct.
a pretty good deal.
That's simple.
Where can a person go to find out more information about this tax credit?
Google first-time tax credit.
Okay.
There's a number of websites out there that can give you more information about it.
Okay.
And it really is straightforward, as you'll see when you go online to find out more. Ask your accountant. Again, ask that trusted friend or a family member.
That's good. Now, you know, this was the year that we learned of the stimulus package. And then, of course, there's talks that there may be a second stimulus package. What are your thoughts on the stimulus package and any tips that you can provide our viewers with today regarding it?
Well, we were taught to obey our parents and to obey authority figures, but in this case, what I would love for you to do is not do what the government wants you to do. The checks that we got in the mail earlier this year and the checks we might get in the mail later in 2009, don't spend them. That's what the government wants you to do, but you're much better off to save the money, pay off debt, pay off that credit card, pay down a student loan, keep money for a rainy day. Don't go out and buy a new TV. Now, for some people, they may not have a choice, but as much as you can, go out and save and don't spend the money. But it's also important for folks to realize that the stimulus payment that was already paid out, many people have not yet received that, and they're eligible to receive it next year. For example, if you had a child born in 2008, the refund checks were based on your return for 2007. So you're entitled to $300 for that child, but they weren't on your return, so you haven't received a check yet.
Right.
So when you file early in the year, be sure to claim $300 for that child so you don't lose out on it. If you're a college student and you may have been on your parents' return as a dependent last year, be sure to file this year and claim, if you're on your own from a tax perspective, claim $600. Easy money. Go out again, save it, pay down a student loan, pay off the credit card that you accumulated in college, but be sure to take advantage of what's already been enacted.
Great information, great information. Now, as a financial planner, what is your advice to a person who perhaps they never look at their credit report, they don't even know what's on it? Right. What is your advice about the credit report?
Check your credit report often, at least once per year. Everyone is entitled to a free credit report per year. Now, if you go online, there's a number of companies that want you to pay more money. They want you to not only get a free credit report, but pay money for your credit score, for your FICO score. They want to enroll you in a monitoring program. They want you to buy insurance against identity theft. And a few of those programs are good, but I think most are rather questionable, especially if they're pitched by your credit card company. But at minimum, get a copy of your report, go through it with a fine-tooth comb, make sure that every account is in fact yours, and if there are any negative remarks on the credit file, be sure to call that company, call the bank, call the credit card company, and see if that can be changed and modified. But identity theft is rampant. You have to be so careful about giving out your Social Security number, and unbeknownst to you, identity theft can happen. So be vigilant about checking your credit and keeping track of who you owe money to and which credit cards and which banks and that type of thing.
Let's talk about stretching your dollar in today's economy. What are some of the small steps that consumers can take to start stretching their dollar?
Well, we're in the winter. Cut down your heat. Keep it at somewhere in the 60s, below 70. Layer up when you go to bed at night. Anything like that, especially with the price of gas, that can save hundreds of dollars per month. Buy the Sunday paper if you don't get it. Use some coupons. There are, as my wife will tell you, tremendous coupon deals out there that can save $50, $100 every week in your grocery money. Those are a few small steps you can take, but it is important for folks to be on a budget, to have an idea, to track their spending, to know where their money is going every month, because until you do that, you won't have a handle on how much you're spending.